I got engaged to a blind duke. Episode 143. Sweetie, stay still. Tan smiled sweetly with his eyes, but somehow it felt quite dangerous. Marin wiggled her body wrapped in the blanket and pressed herself as close as possible to the headboard. Tan's black eyes watched her actions with amusement before he moved even closer to her. Sweetie? If you do that, it makes me want to be even more wicked, you know? Why are you acting like this? That's when it happened. Bang. The door opened with a rough sound. In that moment, Tan grabbed her shoulders and pressed her down onto the bed. Marin's eyes widened as much as they could. A scream was about to burst from her mouth when Tan's head came down. No way. I must protect my lips. Marin quickly covered her lips with both hands. Tan looked down at her and chuckled, then placed his hand over hers on her mouth. Marin looked up at him with confused eyes at the large hand covering her own hands. Marin's enlarged light green eyes met Tan's black eyes at a span's distance. He lowered his head further and kissed his own hand, while gazing at her intensely as if capturing her eyes. What kind of situation is this right now? Why is he laying me down on the bed? Why is he kissing his own hand? And he's too close. Tan looked down at Marin's shaking pupils with appreciation and smiled wickedly. Tan. A strange man's irritated voice came from beyond the curtain. Tan kissed his hand again with a smacking sound, then opened his lips while staring at her confused gaze as if enjoying it. I told everyone not to disturb me. It's me. Ban. Elder brother? Without taking his eyes off her, he spoke theatrically before slowly turning his head toward the curtain. The sneer drawn on his lips disappeared instantly, and his usual pretty smile took its place. Marin watched this scene with wide eyes. Tan turned his head back toward her, winked, then pulled back the curtain and stepped out of the bed. Through the briefly opened curtain, the face of a cold-looking man with lemon-colored hair appeared and disappeared. Ban's disdainful gaze fell on Tan's bare upper body. You have no manners. Where are your clothes, elder brother? You're the one who interrupted a good time, aren't you? Tan sat at the table, propped his chin on his hand, and smiled brightly. Ban looked at Tan with dissatisfied eyes before casting his gaze toward the bed hidden by the curtain. That woman? Who are you referring to? I heard you have the Western Duke's fiancée with you. That can't be. I definitely heard it. Ban's sharp gaze pierced Tan's giggling, laughing face. Tan picked up the teapot with a nonchalant expression and spoke in a casual tone. I don't know why I'm so thirsty these days. This is a woman I've been biting and sucking for 3 days. How could I do that to the Western Duke's fiancée? The more crudely Tan spoke, the more disgusted Ban's face became. That was exactly what he was aiming for. Deliberately saying things Ban hated to make him leave quickly. I'll confirm it with my own eyes. You cannot do that, elder brother. Tan poured tea into the teacup with a strange expression. Ban's eyes widened slightly as if he hadn't expected the refusal, then frowned with displeasure. In the silent room, the sound of trickling tea water echoed loudly. Are you refusing my order right now? Ha ha ha. Elder brother, who am I? For you, the second prince, I could give anything of mine. How could I refuse elder brother's order? Then, that woman, Tan drank the yellow tea that filled the teacup and set it down with a thud. But aren't I also crazy about women? I cannot give up my woman alone. Elder brother. Ban narrowed his eyes and stared at Tan piercingly, as if trying to read his intentions. What if rumors spread that elder brother and I share women? It would harm elder brother's path to becoming crown prince. At Tan's words, Ban's expression hardened coldly. Are you certain that woman is not the Western Duke's fiancée? Just as elder brother dislikes the Western Duke, I also dislike him. So? If it belonged to the Western Duke, wouldn't I have already destroyed it? Not just biting and sucking? Tan grinned and picked up the teapot again. TSK TSK. Do you like women that much? Ban looked at Tan as if he were looking at a fool. Good. All I do in the Imperial Palace is play around and eat, so wouldn't it be fun to play with a woman at least? Fine. Live your life drowning in women like that. Quietly like a dead mouse. Yes. Your lovely younger brother follows any of elder brother's commands. Haha. When Tan burst into hearty laughter, Ban looked at him with disapproving eyes before turning around. I won't go far. I have to continue what I was doing. The door closed with a loud sound just like when it had opened. Marin still had her palms covering her lips as she held her breath and reflected on their conversation. What was all that about? Marin turned her head to the side with a complicated gaze. Beyond the curtain, she could see Tan's blurry figure. So the reason they had been staying in the same room all this time was to protect her. She also realized why Tan had been so obsessed with rumors. Marin carefully pulled back the curtain and came outside. Tan took out a transparent candy and put it in his mouth. Your Highness, when she hesitated and couldn't continue speaking, Tan chuckled while chewing the candy. Oh my, have you finally fallen for me? Were those rumors for my sake? Didn't I tell you? Your charm, my stamina. Very important. He smiled sweetly with his eyes and picked up his shirt to put it on. So he was deliberately not wearing his shirt all this time too. Was that person earlier the second prince? That's right. Our elder brother who monopolizes mother's love. His Majesty only had one child with each imperial consort, but he loved our mother so much that she was the only one to have 2 children. Tan's lips curved up coldly before returning to a playful expression. Anyway, I'm dying of envy, our elder brother. Why does the second prince hate Gerald? To surpass the first prince and become crown prince, you need achievements, right? If he could bring down the Western Duke who firmly protects the Oman Empire, that would be a very big achievement. Marin looked at Tan with a shocked face. Surely he wouldn't start a war. As Marin's eyes wavered and she opened and closed her mouth like a fish, Tan looked at her and laughed as if he found her adorable. I'm not saying we'll go to war immediately. I'm just saying such a thing could happen. Do you know how many monsters are crawling around in the Siran Desert? Then why? The Western Duke is quite annoying, isn't he? If we could just shake the Western barrier, the path to becoming crown prince would be much smoother. Tan took out another clear candy, tossed it into the air, and caught it in his mouth. Marin lowered her gaze to the floor and bit her lips with an anxious expression. All this time, she had hoped the Duke would come find her quickly. But now she realized. The Duke must never come to this place. This was a pit of fire. The Duke coming here to find her would be like jumping into flames with straw in hand. War. What if, by any chance, she became the spark for a war between the 2 empires? Wouldn't she go down in history as an incompetent and foolish villainess? The mere thought was terrifying. She had to escape this place on her own before the Duke arrived. After organizing her thoughts, Marin raised her head again and met Tan's eyes. What does the second prince intend to do after finding me? Marin asked carefully with a fearful expression. First threaten you, then torture? Though Tan spoke casually, the content was brutal. Torture? Did he just say torture? Marin's pupils shook as if an earthquake had struck. What do you hope to gain by torturing me? The Western Duke's weaknesses? Gerald has no weaknesses. He can't see. That's true, but everyone already knows about that weakness, so what would you gain by torturing me? My elder brother is crazy about that sort of thing. You could say he's mastered the art of tormenting people. A cold light flashed in Tan's eyes as he chuckled. Marin gulped. It seemed like she'd be in real trouble if she got caught. I'm feeling fine now, so may I return to the Western region? Nope. You can't. When Tan refused with a cheerful voice, Marine's eyes drooped. Now she really wanted to leave this place. Why not? You saw what happened earlier. That's exactly why I need to run away. My elder brother doesn't trust what I say. Right now, his people are probably hiding all around my palace. Then what should I do? Marine stomped her feet with a frightened expression. Just become my woman.